weekend, tens of thousands took to the streets of Tel Aviv for a rally against Netanyahu's apparent attempts to legislate immunity from prosecution and ensure the courts couldn't overturn such a law once passed. With his first indictment hearing due in October, even if he wins the September election and manages to form a government, any hopes of ensuring immunity will be seriously dented.
It might make it harder for him, but he has capabilities, very strong power, high political capabilities, so it's not his last word for sure. He will try to maneuver.
Israeli President Reuven Rivlin told the nation Wednesday that he had two options: entrust another lawmaker to try to form a government or call for new elections.
But if we are going to go into a new election, Netanyahu is probably still the front runner in another election.
A new election would be very costly for Israel, and political leaders have said they will do all they can to avoid it. But it would give Netanyahu, a political survivor, several months in which to work out a compromise.
After a bruising final day trying to magic a last-minute coalition deal, Benjamin Netanyahu's face said it all. He'd failed. The Israeli parliament, at Netanyahu's urging, voted to dissolve itself and take Israel into an unprecedented second election in the same year. It's now his best hope of clinging on to power, but he insisted voters shouldn't blame him. The blame belonged to his former defense minister, Avigdor Lieberman.
It is just unbelievable. Avigdor Lieberman is now part of the left. He is from the left's bloc. You give him votes for the right, and he doesn't give his vote to the right-wing government. This is what we see.
The Prime Minister is embroiled in 3 corruption cases himself. He has denied any wrongdoing, but analysts say the scandal has contributed to his current political woes.
Unless the Prime Minister was under interrogation and likely to be indicted, I think it would be a lot easier for him to form a government, to lure in a centrist member, lower the price of the other.
Lieberman needs a secular party opposed to what he calls attempts to make Israel a religious state. He was insisting on the passage, unchanged, of a bill that would increase the numbers of ultra-Orthodox Jews being drafted for national service. The ultra-Orthodox parties, also a key part of any right-wing coalition, want the law softened. Lieberman held firm, and the coalition was doomed.
The Likud has failed in this task to form a coalition, to form a government. Together with their turn to the ultra-Orthodox, they bear full responsibility to the fact that Israel is now going back, once again, to an election.
On Saturday, Israeli protesters held a large demonstration in Tel Aviv against the draft law that would give Netanyahu immunity in corruption cases.
The Israeli parliament should not be a refuge for criminals. We should take advantage of the situation. The goal is to have cleaner and more moral people in the government.
On Wednesday, Israel's radio reported that Netanyahu's wife Sarah had reached a plea bargain in a fraud case alleging she had been misusing state funds to order catered meals. Under the agreement, she will pay the state more than $12,000 in reimbursement.
Opposition leader Benny Gantz says the elections are all about Netanyahu's bid to survive prosecution.
This is all happening for only 2 words. Only 2 words. Legal fortress. There is no other reason here.
Gantz was mocked for declaring victory early on election night in April, but now it's clear Netanyahu's own celebrations were premature. The fight he thought he'd won 7 weeks ago has months left to run.